Okay, so today is Thursday, July 18th. And do you want to know how I know it's July 18th, other than the fact that I checked just to make sure? I was like, okay, the bar exam is Tuesday and Wednesday. That's the 30th and the 31st. So 31, 24, 17, 18. Because this thing is in 2 weeks. And I'm still studying. Studying yesterday. I'll definitely do some more studying today. I'm in kind of a weird place where I feel like, if I'm being 100% honest, if I were to take it right now, I don't know if I would pass or fail. Kind of somewhere in the middle. I would err more on the side of maybe not quite yet. And that's weirdly encouraging as much as it is discouraging. Obviously, me saying, I don't know if I would pass or fail, but if I took it right now, I don't know. I might miss it. Isn't the happiest feeling in the world. But at the same time, I feel like I'm really, really close. There are some subjects that I did a while ago, and because they don't have MBE questions, I haven't really practiced them as much. Like, I did their essays, and now there's not much else to do, like secure transactions and family law, which I really need to go back into, look over the outlines and such. And then some of the newer material that, while it is more fresh, because I also haven't practiced it as much, it's not as embedded, like with con law or, like, trusts. But at the same time, I still have 2 weeks. I still have 2 weeks where I could write essays, outline essays, I can do more MBE questions, I can look over the outlines. There's still time. Not a lot, but there's still time. You know, that 11th hour to just hone in on everything. And that's what I really wanted. I believe I had said my plan for the last 3 weeks is watch the lectures, like the substantive lectures, for the information. Then the next week, which is this week, just do application. Outline essays, work on MBE questions, etc., etc. Maybe some of the supplementary lectures as well. Excuse me. And then the final week, which is next week, is what are those areas I feel particularly weak in? Is it kind of an entire subject? Is it one element of a particular subject? You know, those commonly tested big ticket areas. Make sure I really, really focus on those, hone those in. Possibly still like some application, but mostly just outline, memorization, let's go. So I feel like, yeah, if I took it now, maybe I'd pass, maybe I'd fail. I feel like when I sit down to take it, I'm gonna do well. And yeah, in 2 weeks, on August 1st, it'll be behind me. So I know I'll say this. I'm not going to do my July in review looking ahead to August next week. That will be the last Thursday of July. But I'm like, no, I'm going to do that August 1st. I'm going to do it after the bar where I can really look back and say it's done. My chains are gone. I've been set free. It's going to be wonderful. So there's that. Working on writing and orichalcum. Still haven't really fucked with severance in a while. I will probably, like I've said, get back to that after the bar is done. With orichalcum, I did a lot of work on the next chapter. I like some of the tweaks I made to it. I've also figured out the third act. And what I'm doing with the climax. Like, it's kind of actually yesterday, because I've been thinking for a while. I was like, I know the idea, but I don't really have the specifics planned out. And it's kind of daunting. Like, it's exciting. Like, I get to write more new shit for the book, but also, like, man, that's going to be a lot. You know, like, I'm really excited for this because I love it, but I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing with it yet, so I'm kind of scared. And then spent some time, like, I went for a walk, and that was nice. Just like, okay, what is the shit that needs to happen? Okay, boom, boom, boom. What is some of the shit that I would kind of like to happen? Okay, boom, boom, boom. What is the order of operations? well, no, I'm figuring it out, and I think I've got it down, and I'm excited for it. Like, I'm really excited to start writing this. Again, after the bar, I'll have a lot more time for it. Godzilla Progress. We watched Godzilla vs. Megalon. I did the video on that. I had a good time with it. We got 2 films left in the show era. We're almost done. In terms of Worm, I finished 25, did my video on that. I'm about halfway through 26. I really didn't read much, I guess listen, you know what I mean. I didn't really listen to much of it yesterday, I worked yesterday, I was kind of doing some other shit. I listened to about 5 hours in 2 days. I was like, I'm good to take a break. I'm also working today, so I might not read as much Worm later, but probably, like, over the weekends, I'll read more. Like, I plan on finishing this arc. 26 has been really good so far. So, Jose is starting to replay Kingdom Hearts, but only if I'm there with him. So yesterday I was like, okay, I'm going to watch you play Kingdom Hearts, but I'm also going to be listening to some supplemental lectures and taking notes. So I was able to multitask. But that's neat, because Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite games, and it's fun to go through it with Jose. So it was the PlayStation, like, summer sale, and Clay was looking through it, and there was this game. It's an anime fighting game. I think it's called, like, Phantom Breaker Omnia or something like that. And it was like, alright, what the fuck is this? Okay, it's a fighting game, blah, blah, blah. Is that Makise Kunisu from Steins Gate? What? It was like $4, so he bought it, and we played it for a bit, and the part that killed me is Jose sits down, starts playing for a second, and realizes there's no command list because there's not one, which is weird, and just his visceral, what the fuck, was so fucking funny to me. We actually haven't played it since that first session. I don't know, I actually had a pretty good time with it. I'd like to get into it at some point. Speaking of games, a friend of mine is selling his game collection, and Clay is his agent for this, and yes, like, when they were having the conversation for this, I was doing an agency analysis, like, okay, assent, benefit, control, the duties, no self-dealing, but at the same time, you know, if it's, like, ratified and fully disclosed, I mean, the self-dealing can be okay. You're just actually kind of going through that in my head, and that was kind of fun. There's a lot of shit, and, like, some of it from looking at it, like, oh, that is actually, like, a really neat thing in the collection. Some of it is just like, alright, it's just kind of a thing there, but there's a lot of it. And I think that's kind of neat. One of the games I'm not going to buy it, but I'm actively playing it. It was like, alright, because he doesn't have a time limit on this. It's like, I'm getting them out of my house so I can have more room. Please sell these for me. And it's like, you know, like, if it takes a while, it takes a while. If it's quick, it's quick. It's whatever. So I'm like, okay. I don't think anything has been listed yet. I'm like, I want to play some of these before they get listed. The one I'm playing now is Conquer, because I've never played Conquer's Bad Fur Day. And I think I've had, like, a few sessions with it. Like, don't get me wrong, I am still studying. But, like, I've played a bit of Conquer. I didn't play any yesterday. It's certainly a game. It is one of the games of all time. I would say I'm in, what is it called? Like, Ugga Bugga, something like that. I'm in the prehistoric level. I would say, in terms of presentation, I like it quite a bit. Is the voice acting, like, amazing? No, but it's pretty fun, and it's very likable. The music, I think, is actually really good. And visually, I think it's a 64 game, so sometimes it can kind of hurt the eyes to look at it, I can't lie. But I still, like, it's very colorful and very charming, and the designs aren't always the most interesting. It's like, that's just a thing of cash with eyeballs, but there's something charming about that simplicity to me. In terms of the narrative and the writing, I think the game's hilarious. It is so audacious and over the top, and just, it really just feels like we just went balls to the wall, and anything we thought was funny we threw in the game. And I'm like, I normally don't laugh at a lot of poop and shit and fart jokes, but here I am laughing at just how absurd and how thoroughly they went with this idea. Even the music. The gameplay, it's fine. It's passable. It's not great. There are definitely sections where I'm like, this feels like dog shit to play. But I'm glad to finally have the experience with it. That's pretty much it. The only other thing is just actually, no, I guess there are a couple things. Number one is, like, speaking of Clay and speaking of games, so he was borrowing my copy of Trails into Reverie, and he's dropped it. He's like, dude, I love this series, but I don't like the writing in this game. And I don't really blame him. He's like, C's route I think is really good and really interesting. Reen's route, nothing is fucking By the way, he was in chapter 3. Like, Reen was in the Nord Highlands. Bannings had just got, like, reconnected with Tio. And C met up with Ren and was about to go back into the corridor. Like, his issue is, like, C's story is really interesting. Reen's story, nothing has fucking happened. Lloyd's is dog shit. And I think Lloyd's is dog shit. But, his other problem is, like, I would love to just, like, be able to finish a chapter, but because of the way the game is, like, you play a chapter for a bit, and then it's locked, and you have to do something else, and that gets locked. It's like, I would like to just do the part I think is really neat, but I can't do that. He's like, I don't want to play it anymore, I just want to play Kuro, so he started Kuro. I don't know, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was kind of interesting. Anyways, the other thing, speaking of Clay, was a couple nights ago, he and I'm not going to name an establishment because I don't want to, like, really shit on anything, but we went to, like, one of our local fast food places, and I just wanted a milkshake. He wanted, like, a whole thing. He's like, I want my burger, fries, and a drink. I don't know if he got a shake or if he got a drink. So we go. We place our order. We let them know it's going to be 2 separate tickets. I'm going to pay for mine. He's going to pay for his. We go. And pay for, like, I think I'm paying for mine, because she's like, okay, so I tell the cashier we're splitting the tickets up. She goes, okay. So then I pay for it, and she's like, ooh, sorry, like, it all ended up being on yours. And I'm like, that sucks, but whatever, Clay can just cash at me. And then she's like, wait, I'll be right back. And then she just disappears. It's like she just left the screen before we had a chance to be like, wait, no, it's okay. So then she brings in a manager to issue a refund onto my card and then split the ticket. And as this is going on, Clay and I tell them both a couple times, it's okay. You don't have to do it. You can just put it all on one card. But they keep trying. And I noticed her manager say a couple times, like, it's not letting me back out. So I don't think it was necessarily just them being stubborn, like, no, you wanted this, we're going to do it. I think it was like, okay, we're trying to make our customer happy. Oh no, the technology fucked up. And now we can't even go back to what we did previously. So then they get a second manager. She fixes everything. And it took like 20 minutes, and the line behind us was just super backed up, and at one point someone just leaves the line and goes. I'm like, I don't blame you. It was miserable, but it, to me at least, was like you know that scene from The Algae is Always Greener? It's one of my favorite SpongeBob episodes. Well, the one background fish goes up to Plankton, and what does he say to start it? He's like, do you think this is funny? In a cosmic sort of way, yes. And it's like, that was kind of me. There's like, in a cosmic sort of way, this is pretty funny. And then when Clay got his food, because he prefers to get his burgers dry, like no sauce on it, but put all the veggies on there. So he had said, I want my burger plain, and by plain I mean no sauce, like put everything else on there. And then when he got it, he's like, yeah, there's like no veggies on this burger. They fucked it up. He did not have a good experience there. I didn't have a good experience there, but There was a point where I was thinking to myself, I could just have been listening to Worm like this entire time, and I could have made significant progress. But it is what it is. I think it's kind of a funny experience. Again, it's like, I'm not pissed at them, so I'm not going to say, like, this was the establishment. Fuck them, you know? But, I think that's it. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week and your weekend, the rest of the month, the year, etc., etc. Be good.